Hey, happy Monday. Hope everybody is doing well. Eh, this is a beautiful day, start to a new week, and it's very exciting to see what God has in store for us this week. This is In the Raw, unscripted, unpracticed, unedited conversation. And today, I'm going to do something here. Um, have my phone. And this is an old iPhone 11, I believe. It's an iPhone 11. Um, and, I normally don't um, upgrade my phone often. I think the phone I had before this one was an iPhone 5. And the reason I don't upgrade is because you might have heard me say this before. Um, you know, I think I talked about consumerism or something in the past, and I said, I always told my kids the only thing wrong with your current phone is a new one came out. And that's why people like to upgrade, because they want the newest, the greatest, the nicest, whatever. But to me, that's not important. As long as I can make phone calls, as long as I can, check my running or check uh, the news or, social media, that's not even that important. Um, the scores on my favorite teams, that kind of thing. As long as I can do that, uh, I'm good. So um, you might say, well, how do you, how do you do it? Phones kind of get clogged up, and then you have to. That's why you have to upgrade. Well, one of the things that I do is this right here. I go in and I do something called a reset. And so what I do is, let's see, I'm going to back up everything that's in here. So it's backing up, so you can see there. And after I back it up, I'm going to go in and I'm going to erase everything. I'm going to erase everything from this phone, and it's going to reset. And then I'm going to reinstall everything back. And what I've discovered that does, it clears up all the junk that builds up over time. Because, I don't know if you knew this, but your phone builds up junk as you are, going through different uh, applications and what have you. Things in the background are working, and that's what slows your phone down. That's what makes a lot of takes a lot of space from your memory. And so when you back it up and then you reset it, you restore it back, you erase everything and you restore it, then it works perfect after that. I've done it several times, and that's how I can use my phone for so long. So there, it's backed up already. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm going to see if I can remember how to do this. I'm going to go into General. If you're not an iPhone user, you might say, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about. But I'm going to go to General, and then I'm going to go to Transfer or Reset Phone. Right here it says Transfer and Reset Phone. I don't know if you can read that. And I'm gonna erase all content and settings. Normally you do this when you are changing to a new phone, right? It'll erase everything. It'll sign out of everything, remove your personal data, and then this. Normally, you do this so you can trade this phone or give it away to somebody else. So I'm gonna take everything out, and then I'm going to let's see, keep eSIM and erase data. So yeah, so I'm gonna erase all the data. And then it's asking me for my passwords. I probably should have done this before I got on here, right? But let's see, turn off. But anyways, it's going to start resetting, and this reminds me of something that we should do with ourselves too. Sometimes we live our lives and we start carrying all this baggage, we start carrying all this junk in our lives, and we start. It starts bringing us down. It starts to make us, you know, think of things that we shouldn't think, and it starts to make us feel heavy and weary and tired, and so we need to, once in a while, we need to reset. We need to get away from everything, however that looks for you. Get away. Take a, some people call it a sabbatical, from whatever it is that's bogging you down. And we need to reset ourselves and do this right here. See this? It's already started. So we need to do this, and we need to reset our lives and just get away from everything that is bringing us down. Like I said, that is bogging us down, and just reset our lives so that we can continue moving forward and continuing functioning. Because if we don't, then it's going to take a toll on our lives. That's why phones stop working, because we never do a reset on them like I'm doing right now. We never, erase everything that's junk, and then the phone doesn't work anymore, and we're like, oh, I need a new phone, right? I've been able to keep my phone for many years, and it's in great working condition, and it's because I've been able to do that. And we need to do that with ourselves. We need to do that with ourselves. We need to disconnect. I remember back in the old days, before all this technology, the computers wouldn't work, and one of the things that we would do is just unplug it, wait a few seconds, plug it back in. Not the best way to do it, but we disconnected it. And sometimes we need to disconnect. We need to disconnect our lives from certain things that are making us get into depression, get into anxiety, all this stuff that's happening, And so, the Bible talks about this, and there's a lot of examples in the Bible. God Himself, when during creation, He worked for 6 days, and then he rested on the seventh. We need to rest every so often. We need to get away every so often. We need to clear our minds every so often, right? So He did that. And the Bible talks a lot about this stuff, but one of my favorites is King David. I mean, King David, he's been described as the man with God's heart, man after God's heart. He had God's heart, or God saw him that way, and yet he, was the biggest sinner. I mean, let's put it that way. He sinned big time. And so one of those times when he committed this really bad sin, he took another man's wife, and then he killed. This thing's already starting. He killed the husband to kind of cover up the sin, cover up the adultery. And then he repented of this, and he, kind of thought this wasn't right. So he needed to reset. He needed to, after having gone through that, he needed to reset. So he wrote this in Psalms 51. It says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God. Renew a loyal spirit within me." He's talking about creating a clean heart. He's talking about renewing, and that's what we're doing. We're creating a clean start with my phone here. We're renewing the system here, and then he continues. "Do not banish me from your presence, and don't take your Holy Spirit from me." In other words, please let me continue being connected to you, and that's the most important thing. We need to continue to be connected with God. And then he says, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and make me willing to obey." Restore. We need to restore our lives. As we reset, as we take time off, as we get away, as we unplug, we are restoring. It's a restoration that we need in our lives so that we may continue. And he says, restore to me the joy of your salvation and make me willing to obey you. Then I will teach your ways to rebels and they will return to you. So there's a purpose in our lives for all of this. There's a purpose because our purpose is to shed light on others. And the only way we can shed light on others is by being restored ourselves. So we need to make sure that we do this every so often. You know, that we just reset, that we get away. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that's bogging you down, whatever it is that is overwhelming you, you need to, get away from that. And you need to reset. You need to restore. You need to restart. All right. This is all I've got. And I went a little longer than usual. But I hope you have an amazing day. Talk to you soon.